Can we get started? All right, thank you. Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the ET-GCC Summit's Leadership Chat and to yet another pertinent topic that we have for you all today. A topic unlike many others, which usually has relevance and restricted to a certain audience within an organization. The topic that we are discussing today is something which is all pervasive in nature that percolates across the organization, starting from the CEO of an enterprise to just not the junior most member of the team, but also to folks who are looking to join an organization to understand what the organization's view on this particular topic is. And clearly, there is no debate that there is a debate on this topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the continually evolving work in progress, one of the most popular and trending topics at India Inc. today, hybrid working model. And given the debate, you would find as many who would be talking for the model and so many, if not in equal numbers, who would also speak against the model. So that brings us to the heart of the discussion. We will be analyzing the pros and cons of the hybrid working model today. And when we look at this topic deeply and understand what's the ultimate implication that this topic has for an enterprise, it's the fine balance that an enterprise is trying to strike between the organizational culture, the ethos and DNA as we call it sometimes, and on the other end of the spectrum is the employee experience and employee engagement. Is this topic a flavor of the season given the fourth wave in certain countries and the looming threat in India? And is this going to wane away once we get back to the old normal? Or is this something that's a defining moment which is going to essentially define our course and ways of working going forward is something that we will unravel during the discussion today. And that brings me to introducing our esteemed panelists for the day. We have Nafisa Ojha, the country manager and managing director at Colt India, who in a role also dons a heavy business hat. So we will be getting perspectives on more from a business perspective from Nafisa. And also joining us is Joseph Alexander, global director for employee experience at Unilever, and also an employee engagement enthusiast at heart, who is going to get us the perspective of the human capital and talent side of this particular topic. So just to get started, maybe Nafisa, I could request you, there is a lot of prominence around this topic, right? There are a number of surveys that's out there, and there's a couple of days back when I just read one that said 6 out of 10 employees would prefer a work from home or a hybrid working model kind of flexibility over a pay hike, right? So how pertinent is this topic from your organizational context?
Thanks, Keerthi. I hope you can hear me well.
We can, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. And first of all, thank you, Deloitte and ET, for inviting me to be part of this panel discussion. And it's lovely to meet you all virtually, though I cannot see you all right now. And pardon me if I shoot the time, for there is so much to speak on this topic. So what many enterprises are converging on is a mixture of remote working and traditional office working, known as the hybrid working. So hybrid working is very pertinent, and not just to organization, but I believe across service industry at large. At Colt, in the past, we have always adopted the traditional approach of working from office. However, during pandemic, we experienced a big shift where remote working was the need of the hour. And at global level, we now plan to move to hybrid ways of working. We will be rolling out a pilot hybrid working model from 1st of April. However, for any operations, we look for government support as we work out of SEZ and STPI. Sorry. And the other thing I also wanted to add was choosing to give flexible working or hybrid working will make a lot of economic sense for organizations, especially in terms of better utilization of space, which is one of the biggest spending. And now one can get best of resources just about anywhere without geographical boundaries. So hybrid working is pertinent, and it is here to stay long, in my view. Thanks.
Thank you, Nafisa. Thank you with that view. I think it's a great start. Joseph, maybe I will extend the same question to you as well. From a Unilever perspective, we also understand that you have a firm return to work strategy as well. So it will be interesting to get your perspectives on how do you see this topic, and more importantly, do you see this model to stay in the future?
Hi everyone. Hi Keerthi. Thanks for moderating this session. Yes, as you said, this is talk of the town. At Unilever, we believe in the power of our offices. They are where we collaborate, innovate, celebrate, even commiserate together. In the past or even in the future too. Yet we also believe in flexibility and choice, and that to be at our best does not always require us to be in the office. This has become very clear since the pandemic has struck. Work is what we do, not where we go. But at the same time, we want to strike a balance between working from office and working remotely. That's what I would say from our standpoint. But at the same time, in the past too, we had policies related to flexible working policies, which were already available from Unilever. Different parts of the world, different businesses had that. So yes, we had it in the past, but not to this scale. Yes, now the scale has come.
Thank you for that, Joseph. So, great points. And what I'm hearing is that the model is going to stay, and that flexibility is something that would be needed going forward. So, with that said, Nafisa, coming back to you, as you're looking to implement the model, I mean, there are different forms and shapes in which it happens within different organizations. What are the challenges that you see in implementing the model? What's working and what's not working?
Keerthi, the last couple of years have opened our eyes to new ways of working. And it has showed us that, yes, it is possible to work remotely or run a business even while many of us work from home. And it has presented us with the opportunity to retain the best parts of office culture while freeing ourselves from older styles of working. So we all can achieve a better work-life balance. So remote working can increase employee isolation. An employee spend large amount of the time away from their colleagues, and their contacts created through having a physical presence in the office may weaken. It can have a mental impact because lack of social or physical interaction, and this can have an impact on productivity. At the same time, remote working may also increase family conflict because it is likely to lead to an expansion of work and increase the domestic burden of employees. So just because mama is at home doesn't mean it is her holiday. So in my view, we must put employee health first. And I believe the hybrid working model, may work for many of us because it combines the benefit of working from home with the benefits of being in the office. And we should also empower our employees to work independently in a way that suits their life. In the office, they'll benefit from collaborating and socializing with others. The goals of hybrid model are to provide employees with more flexibility and foster more productivity. So sometimes it makes sense to work remotely, and sometimes coming back together delivers more value. Now, this approach means everyone can show their best selves at home and in the office. So the idea is to the idea is not to say goodbye to office completely, but I believe in-person interaction is very important. And we can still consider to choose to travel to office occasionally, to collaborate, to network and attend team meetings or enjoy festivities together. So I hope I've addressed your question.
Sure, you did. Thank you for that, Nafisa. And I think what you've also raised is the balance that needs to be struck, one from an employee's perspective and equally from an organization's perspective. Maybe I'll take that cue, and Joseph, coming to you in terms of what are some of the practices that organizations can adopt in order to strike this balance? One, when we look at it from an organizational perspective, and two, equally looking at it from an employee's perspective?
Fine, Keerthi, I would like to stick to, Unilever, what we are trying here, because, everybody is in an experimentation phase.
Sure.
Currently, we feel that this model is here to stay. There's no debate on it, the hybrid policy. And we expect, based on our Unilever's business, we expect our employees to work from office 40% of the time in a week. So that comes to at least, minimum 2 days. We have come so far because of the relationship. Let's not forget that, because we have come so far because of the relationship we have built and the culture of our organizations. I think, Nafisa rightly mentioned in the past also, there's a lot of element more than, productivity, there is an opportunity. It has proved successfully. So it's also time to reconnect and forge new connections. Our offices will, of course, there will be changes. Our offices will see a change in line with these new policies. We expect, moving from a, conventional, this is my desk, you come here, dock yourself and sit. We will move towards, space to collaborate, brainstorm, and, connect each other rather than, I come here to sit and you work in my seat. This is my chair, this is my seat. So I think those kind of things will go away. And work that can be done individually, finally, what we feel is, if there is a work that is done only by yourself individually, can be done remotely, but other things, it needs a connect, and that's what we feel mostly. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you for that, Joseph. I think you got on a great point in terms of the nature of work that is to be done and that drawing a dependency on the model itself. So Nafisa, from a business perspective, what kind of implications do you see because of this model on the work that is being performed? We have actually seen, I mean, there's a lot of barriers that have been broken because of the model, right? So work can be done from anywhere, and even from a GCC context, that also means that a lot more of work that can get migrated from different locations into the center going forward. So what is your view on what kind of implications on the work aspect itself and the operating model construct for the organization?
Thanks, Keerthi, for this question. So, I feel that, and I've said it earlier also, and I think I'm sure you would also agree that this model will evolve. It definitely will. And we should go with an approach where we start as pilot so that we can learn on the job, adapt and improve and fine-tune in the process. So with the distributed workforce, the focus will be on facilitating collaboration while enabling high-quality remote access. But technology can be as much of a barrier to a successful remote working strategy as an enabler. So one is the enhanced flexibility will be needed to cope with the changing number of people in the office. What I mean is, with majority workforce using office workspace, organizations could see an increase in bandwidth requirements through increased video demand. So the majority of meetings that were held in person will now have a virtual element. And then cloud adaptation of collaboration tools will need to be carefully managed. So relying on public internet can bring challenges with speed and reliability and impacting the performance. So the cloud tools that an organization is using, and the applications, they can be as good as the network delivering them. And new service needs to be integrated and managed carefully. And also, employees outside the company network will bring additional security challenges, cybersecurity challenges. So the pandemic saw a massive increase in phishing attempts and security attacks, cybersecurity attacks. Keeping employees and company data secure should be a top priority. The idea is to make the workplace more productive and collaborative, just as Joseph had mentioned. To trust the employees more, where employees feel more comfortable and happy. Hence, the workplace will have to be redesigned to inspire productive thinking. The past year, has revealed the benefits of working from home, and many employees are not ready to work in office all the time just yet. So, in fact, I would also like to mention that, one of the surveys that I was just reading and I just came across, one of the surveys results conducted by a company, 47% of employees would look for a new job if their employer didn't offer flexible work opportunities. So in my view, hybrid work holds many of remote working's benefit with some added emphasis on autonomy and flexibility.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Nafisa. And Joseph, if I could extend the same question in terms of implications, but more from the workforce perspective, what are some of the top implications that you see from a workforce aspect? And how do you think organizations need to craft their workforce strategy going forward with the model becoming imminent?
I think I say human beings are great in adaptability, given there is a constraint. If you look at, first of all, I would like to say, it will be very difficult to draw out any conclusion. It's premature, I would say, because everybody is still, in the mix and match trying to fix it. When the pandemic started, we started to work from home without almost any guidelines. If you recall, overnight everybody started. But we tackled the situation on brilliantly. Now, both from from the office front, and also, of course, there were some we did not have proper seatings at home. Some houses were pretty small. Both spouse and wife were working. Remote location differences. But we have, I think in 2-3 weeks we challenged all those things, and we came out with amazing solutions for it, and we started moving. Similar thing, I think, when we have to come back to now, return back to workplace. What we have seen, typically, if we focus on some of this, 4 areas, we can easily, sort out those issues. One is, first, please address that, pandemic is here, still at large. We don't know which waves are coming. So ensure health is first. Pass on this message to employees and be with them. And health is first. We are here to abide by all the guidelines, whether they are in office and when they are around. And now there is no, and we have put in the true hybrid policy. In spirit, we need to follow that. As long as the business is not affected, very clearly. Always be inclusive, because many times somebody may not be part of your room in the meetings, and they may be connected remotely. You all know how annoying it is to connect, but that's where the that's where we need to provide proper tools, assistance to our teams, both on the infrastructural front, like Nafisa called it very rightly, on video calls. And most important thing is, line managers should form a right kind of a timetable where at least one day in a week they all are there in their office, so that they all connect together. And the last one is collaboration is key. Connect, and collaborate, and then coach people. So I think I would say health first. It should be truly hybrid, be inclusive, and complete collaboration and coaching. So that's what I would say for success. Or as of now, again, it's a testing time. Let's see how it is. That's something else may.
Thank you, Joseph. I think you also brought in a great point of flexibility and collaboration, and also lines of businesses taking a call, right, as to how that flexibility can be defined. So there was a recent survey that we at Deloitte ran, where 88% of the organizations surveyed said that they are in some form or fashion defining a hybrid working model. And interestingly, about 40% of that 88% have left it to the lines of businesses approval in terms of defining the model itself. And about 40% of them, the remaining 40% of them, actually having it more top-down kind of a model. So, Nafisa, more from a business perspective, what is your view on how this model gets defined in an organization? How much do you think this should be defined by the lines of businesses versus something that should be top-down mandated across the board?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. So, what I would say that from organization perspective, it has to be top-down driven. And when I say top-down, it certainly means that, coming from the government. So our government policies needs to be a little more flexible, where it's easy for employers, for organizations to, incorporate and then flow down to the organization. So that's my first priority. And then I've already covered, in terms of ways of working, what is it that the organizations should look at in terms of cloud computing, in terms of ensuring that data security is of prime most importance, and employee well-being is something that even Joseph has covered. So yeah, that's my response on that.
Sure. Thank you, Nafisa. Joseph, just building on the same question, right? Lines of businesses approving the ways of working, which is more decentralized way of doing it versus the top-down approach. From an organizational policy standpoint, with the hybrid working model coming into place, are we entering an age of personalization on employee experience? What is your view on that?
So, Keerthi, again, I just want to highlight here is we are, if you have to build a culture, it starts from, from the top, and then it is collaborative. Then later on, it's picked up. Yes, we need to empower people. Absolutely, the line manager has to take a call. But a line manager cannot be left like an orphan. He needs to, support the team members, and that's where we in Unilever, we had clear. We have put in clear guiding principles, for anybody. I know we have not addressed the complete ambiguity, but of course we can support them and help them. But we have kept clear guiding principles. If somebody has to, why we need to decide to come to office, how do you support helping people to come and adopt this hybrid ways of working? So I can call out, we are the first one is we are flexible. At the same time, we want to be very efficient. So, like I said, work is what we do, not where we go. Let's be very clear. I think that thing we need, everybody should get in, because let's understand the reality should be kicked in. The second principle would be, scheduling our presence in the office is not, you should not think, oh, this has been trusted on you. More than that, you should think that as a team sport. Yes, this one day, if we all come here, that's going to be a great collaboration. There'll be a lot of team building. So line manager plays a key role. So very important thing is you need to schedule your presence. Depending on that, so that we have experimented that teams which came, on disarray on multiple days in a week have really not connected together. And we also have advised people, to return back to their base location, because reasonable commute is very important for coming to locations. People have gone back to their native places, far away. But we have said, come back to your base locations, but follow the hybrid policies, because erratic travel may disturb their well-being. Everyone should be properly trained and equipped to work both in office and at home. We have a number of proactive, learning capabilities we have built in, for how do we approach issues for any employee who is coming to the line manager or reaching out to a people experience partner. How do we handle such situations? There are people who have multiple situations at home. So we are providing support for that. And the last one is really any travel you make, really ensure a discount, because we are a global organization. We do commute, pre-pandemic we used to travel extensively, but we have made make sure, of course we cannot go get away with it, but ensure the travel is considered properly, and ensure maximum amount of collaboration is done. That's where I would say, these kind of guiding principles will help uh, increase productivity in the system. Of course, productivity is not the only measure we need to measure for a success of this program, but there's a lot of other things to do. That's my point of view, and that's what we follow here. Experiment here. I would say not following, we are experimenting here.
Keerthi, I want to add here.
Please.
And I agree to Joseph's comments. I mean, of course, it covers everything, but I also believe that yes, we are entering the age of personalization. In times to come, even the medicines will get personalized. And on a lighter note, anyone who has seen the latest Bond movie will understand how far we are going with personalization. So we have to tailor our offerings. I believe, yes, we have to tailor our offerings if we want to engage and retain our talent or look at their well-being. Now, questions like, can they work from home? Can they work from an office closer to their home? Are the remote working facilities up to standard? We should consider these questions. Different people have different issues, and if we are able to deal with these issues, or even better, anticipate on possible issues by offering personalized solutions, we might do good to the society. So treating employees as individuals and not as part of the group or segment is one of the most important long-term trends. And it's important to empower our employees and build that trust. So yes, we are entering an age of personalization on employee experience through this model. That's what I would believe.
Thank you, Nafisa, for adding in. There was one interesting topic on productivity that I came in, so I want to make use of that opportunity and put that trick question out. So work from home model and impact on productivity. There seems to be divided views. So what has your experience been? Maybe Joseph, if I could request you to go in first. Is there an impact at all?
I know Deloitte might have done a rigorous, research work, but it's pretty early to say. And the success at work is not only productivity. Again, I would like to reiterate, it's more than that. We should wait and watch. And like I said, work from home was a nightmare, but we made it as simple as possible. I think hybrid ways of working will be currently, challenging for us, but one day we will strike a balance. So I would not, I cannot comment on, it has served us well, and we are doing good job. That's what I feel.
Sure. Thank you for that. Nafisa, your quick views, please.
Okay. So I would say that, historically, some managers viewed hybrid working with a degree of suspicion. Believing that if employees could pick up and choose their working hours or the hours they work, they would simply choose to do less work. Now, this turns to be unfounded. In fact, the opposite seems to be true. I also would like to mention, so there was a research paper by Microsoft on the impact of pandemic on the performance of companies across Europe. 82% of leaders said their enterprises were at least as productive as they were before the pandemic. At Colt, especially our India operations office, we worked all 5 days from office before the pandemic. However, the pandemic and complete lockdown has made us re-engineer or redesign our processes and policies. And this has, I can say that, causing very minimal disruptions to the services we provided to our customers. But we still have to be mindful and ensure to create a very positive environment, stay unbiased, and importantly, have a culture adaptability in the long run.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nafisa, and thank you, Joseph. I think there are a few key takeaways that I have. One, the model is here to stay. While it is still work in progress and it will continuously evolve. Joseph, you rightly put saying that organizations are experimenting and we will learn along the way. And adaptability, like how we have done in the past, is something that would help us come through. So thank you everyone for your time and staying tuned. Hope you had a great discussion and some insights that you got from Nafisa and Joseph. And Nafisa, Joseph, thank you so much. What a pleasure it was to have both of you today on this pertinent topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Keerthi. It was a very good experience, and thanks for the invitation.
Thank you.